Hey there. So, debit versus routing and account number purchases. Today, we're going to have a conversation about when you might opt to do one over the other and the pros and cons of each. And after we get that sorted out, I'm going to answer a question that came in from a previous client. Hello there. I'm Lori Ross. I'm with High Point Credit Advisors and Insurance Solutions. Thanks for being here. I am new to YouTube and to the world of making videos. But stick with me. Hey, my content, I know my stuff. Even though my video creation, hey, it's still in the startup phase. So, some good news is that overdraft or NSF fees, non-sufficient fund fees, are down since 2019. That was a crazy time. Man, I remember someone, my ex-husband, buying a 59-cent Big Gulp and paying a $25 overdraft fee for his beverage. I'm appalled that this type of thing is still going on, but the last time I went to open a bank account, I was surprised at how slyly they tried to get me to agree to the courtesy pay option for debit card use. I can see how a lot of people, especially maybe some of the younger generation, wouldn't want to be embarrassed by a debit card decline, and the ease of just paying the fee might feel like an easy win, a get out of jail free card. However, when I'm signing an agreement with a new bank, I always want to make sure that I opt out of the courtesy pay or overdraft coverage. Listen, Linda, if I have no money in my bank account, I want to be embarrassed and know about it. I don't want to assume that it's there and swipe my card left and right and end up with a big bill at the end of the day. When I put my money into a bank account, I'm already loaning them my money and paying a monthly fee to keep it there. I don't want to give them any additional money. So if you're not certain or you haven't checked, or even if you are certain and you know that you signed up for overdraft protection for your debit card, turn that off. The only way I would even recommend leaving it on is if you do have an overdraft line of credit. My banks don't have that option, so I have that feature on my debit card turned off. In our world today, unfortunately, debit cards get compromised, they expire, sometimes they get lost or stolen. So while they're great for conveniences like going to the grocery store, eating out, filling your gas tank, and other day-to-day shopping needs, they aren't typically the best option for paying your bills. Most bill pay options for things like your mortgage or rent, your credit cards, your auto loan, and your utility bills are going to request your routing and account number. This is otherwise known as an ACH payment. ACH stands for Automated Clearinghouse. This is a network that moves money between banks, typically in batches and typically not instantly. Typically, it will take 1 to 3 days. So if funds are available, the debit clears and the payment goes through. If the funds are not available, the bank can either decline/return the payment and mark it as insufficient funds, or they can cover it temporarily, creating a negative balance and possibly charging an overdraft fee. If you have overdraft protection or courtesy pay for ACH. If a bank declines it and sends it back to the originator, that creditor may decide to send it through again in a few days. This is a really common practice. The creditor may also charge you a returned payment fee since the payment did not clear the account the first time. Even though I'm not a fan of overdraft protection for debit cards, I definitely want all of my ACH payments to clear, mostly because it can be very expensive and a huge headache if they don't. Since most banks have moved to batch processing payments overnight, if you check your account during the day, like in the morning or midday, you will have a chance to make up any shortage before the business day ends. For my banks that I deal with, any shortage has to be made up by 3 p.m. I also will set up notifications to let me know if I'm under a certain balance amount. And those notifications can come to my phone or email. I'm a huge fan of automating every single payment that can be automated. And what that means is that all of my utility bills, my mortgage, my credit card payments, and any other reoccurring payment is going to come out automatically either through my debit card or through an ACH payment. When I have it set up this way, I know I'm not going to miss anything. I don't have to worry about late fees, and I don't have to worry about a penalty interest rate. Yes, if you slow pay your credit cards and you are late by a few days and you do that regularly, they will jack up your interest rate. It is a penalty interest rate you'll be subject to. So drop in the comments whether or not you automate all of your payments. If you don't, tell us why. Okay, so next thing, we are on to a question from a previous client. My client wrote in and asked this question. Let me read the email. I had a question about a credit card of mine. I got an alert from Credit Karma that they closed the account, and so I checked the website and it says the account was restricted/closed. I didn't get any notice of the closure and actually received a statement in the mail about my balance/payments. I haven't missed any payments as well, so I'm not sure why it's showing that. Any insight on what can be done? Okay, so sometimes a credit card company will close an account if there is another late payment on an unrelated credit card or account. All of your creditors are able to keep tabs on your credit to a certain extent. They can get flags or alerts if you pay something else late or if you are running way up over the credit limit on multiple accounts. That is what could have provoked them to close the account. So for example, if you're late on a mortgage, a credit card, an auto loan, a student loan, or any other loan, your creditor can actually respond by cutting off your credit line. If that's not the issue and there are no new late payments on the credit report, then you definitely need to call them and ask questions. Sometimes it's an error and can even be caused by you disputing inquiries on your credit report. This is something, unfortunately, that I have seen far too often. People get very ambitious, let's say, about cleaning up their credit report. They just start disputing all kinds of things, and one of the things that they dispute is their inquiries. Well, if you dispute an inquiry on an account that was opened, they can respond by closing the account. Typically, that inquiry or that dispute is going to say, I didn't do this inquiry. This is not mine. I didn't do this. And if that is the inquiry, if that is the dispute that you're filing, they can respond by saying, maybe there was fraud. Let's go ahead and close this account. Creditors are afraid. They don't want to be responsible for fraud. They don't want to be responsible for giving someone an account if it is fraudulent and wasn't actually opened by you. So definitely don't dispute inquiries on accounts that you have in your possession. If neither of these reasons resonate, I definitely would get on the phone with them, call them to find out, figure out what's happening here. So thank you. Thanks for being here. At High Point, we are a huge fan of Fix It and Protect It. And that's why I'm proud to say I have joined the Life 180 team. We are now also offering life insurance solutions to our clients. Drop your questions and your comments for me. I love to respond. I'd love to continue this conversation. Have an amazing week, and God bless.